Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to try out some new makeup. I have the Nomad Royal Europe palette and I also picked up some things from the new collections from Blend Money. I picked up the Bare Cheeks face palette as well as the Juicy Cheeks face palette and one of their lip oils from the Juicy collection. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri and I'm just a crazy lover of all things beauty and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. All right, my loves, welcome. I am excited to play with some new makeup. Now, these things have come out within like the past couple weeks, so they're not like the newest new, but I mean, they're still new. But I got some of these things while I was still traveling, and then some came like shortly after I got home. And now I'm finally sitting in front of the camera to film. I've been just so off on my filming schedule and having a hard time getting back into the groove of things ever since I went on my trip. So bear with me if my like uploading schedule is kind of sporadic lately. I'll get back to a routine. Anyways, so let's get into these products. I'm going to start off with the Nomad Europe palette. I'm going to do 2 looks using all these products, but this right here is currently available. I think it went available a few weeks ago, and this goes for $57. So this is $10 higher than their usual palettes, and I'll let you know why. But look at this packaging. So this was inspired by all the like royal palaces and places in Europe, and inside the color story is absolutely stunning. So there are a bunch of like very jewel tone shades in here, and why this is more expensive than their other palettes is that all of these metallics down here are multichromes, and I believe this is the first time they've ever had multichromes in their palette. So of course multichromes are more expensive to formulate, so up went the palette price. And then the rest are these beautiful mattes. There's a lot of depth in here. Looks really pretty. Overall it's on the darker side. We don't have a lot of light shades to work with, but that's fine. I can always pull in from another palette. Now let's get into the Blend Money products. They came out with 2 collections, the Juice collection and the Bare collection. So I picked up the Juicy Cheeks palette, which obviously is from the Juice collection. And this is how it looks. It's very cute, simple packaging. It has like the little raindrops on it. I love that. And this one is really bright and colorful inside. This goes for $32. There's 8 different blushes. There are like lighter tones and deeper tones, but I love these unique shades. These are just so on trend. Like these colors are so popular right now, like the lavenders, the cool pinks, the reds, and then these mustardy tones. And if you've watched me before, you know I love a good mustardy blush. And then I picked up one of their lip oils in the Juice collection. So they had 3 options. These go for $12 each. It was like a pinky one and an orange one, but this right one really called to me, this like purple tinted one. Now, if I do end up liking the formula from this, I will probably end up picking up the other colors, but this has a wonderful grape scent, and I'll swatch it really quick here since there's only 1 shade. Now, this is not supposed to be super like pigmented because it is just a tinted lip oil, but it's so pretty. That's what it looks like. And then in the Bare collection, I picked up the Bare Cheeks palette, and this one is more for the nudie lovers that don't want it to be a little too extreme on the cheeks. So here's the packaging. It has like a little lace print, really pretty. And then inside, here are the tones. So we got some kind of bronzy tones, some more like muted colors, but I love this red right here, this pink, and I probably could get away with mixing these as kind of like a bronzer. Very pretty tone. So I like that they had another option in case you're not someone who likes super intense different kind of color cheeks than like more nudie tones. And they did also have lip oils in the Bare collection. It looks like there was like nudes, like a clear one, and those were going for $12, and this is also $32 as well. So I wanted to use these products in both of the looks. Like one look I'll use the Juice palette and the Nomad palette, and then the other look I'll use the Bare palette and the Nomad palette. So that's how I'm going to make it work. Of course, I'll also use the lip oil. So I'm going to get a little closer so we can get into these looks. So we might as well get into this lip oil first for some hydration. See what it does for the lips and how it feels. I like this big applicator and I love how it smells. This does have a little bit of a thicker consistency. It's not a like thin lip oil. And it has a little bit of a tint to it. Okay, there's what it looks on the lips. It does give like kind of a mauve-y little tone to my lips, which I think is really pretty. So it definitely has a little bit of color to it. So now let's get into the palette. Oh my god, my lips look so juicy. I did prime my eyes already with the Kaleidos Tone Activator Primer right here. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna start off with a shade right here called King's Room. I just love the imprint in all of these as well. And I'm just gonna start that on the outer corner. Obvious choice for me. And we're gonna just, you know, work from dark to light. Is normally how I like to do with my shadows. But this is a nice, like, deep teal. I love these tones. It's definitely a fall color story, at least to me. It definitely gives more fall vibes. And I'm here for it because I love more fall tones. And I have to say the pigmentation on this matte is so good. They're definitely coming out with more pigmented mattes than they used to, and I am so here for it. So I did pull the shadow out a lot further just to make more of like a dramatic wing shape. I love this tone. I'm gonna bring a little bit of it down here too. That King's Room shadow down on the lower lash line as well, and just line it up with the shadow up here. So now I'm going to go into this more warmer tone right here called Schönbrunn Palace. I looked up how to pronounce that name. Apparently it's a palace in Austria. I'm going to use that to blend out the edges, add some warmth. I'll bring it in through the crease as well. These shades definitely have a lot of kickback, so dust off the excess. I'm going to start in here, and then I'm going to go over the edge here. Just to add a little bit of warmth and get a nice blend on the edge up here. So now I'm going to clean this brush off that I was using, which is the Rougher 13. And I want to go into this shade called Peña Palace. This is the palace I tried to see in Portugal and wasn't able to go to. It's a whole story. If you want to hear about it, it's in my video that I did, a little get ready talking about my trip. You kind of have to hike to it. It's really high up on this like hillside, and it's a whole adventure to get up there, and I ended up missing my chance. But you know what? It means I'll just have to go back to Portugal. But I just wanted to add that up here in the front part. I'm also going to bring the Peña Palace shade down here in the front. Connect it to the turquoise, and I'll probably blend the edges with that mustardy shade I used to the crease. So I do want to go in to this shade right here called Bleu de France. Ooh, this is such a pretty shifty one. It's like purple to turquoise, like teal. And I'm not sure what like the third shift is in this one. But yeah, it feels like a nice creamy black base multi-chrome. I'm gonna put that over the edge here. Usually these kind of shades are like super creamy, so you almost don't have to wet the brush. Oh, that's pretty. Wow. Sorry if you hear my neighbor in the background. He's always revving his car up. So annoying. But that's beautiful. Now I want to go into Royal Treasure. You see how it's like magenta here, but it has like a gold to green shift to it. It's gonna be stunning in the front portion. And I love these kind of shades. It's so pretty. I'm just gonna put that right there. Right in the front, and kind of fused it into the other multi-chrome. So there it is for the look. And that is all the shadows that I'm going to use from the palette. Now, there's not any shade I can really use as an inner corner highlight, so I'm gonna go into their Whistler Snow Lodge palette, which is my favorite palette from them. And I'm gonna take the shade called Powder Specialist, this one right here, as my inner corner highlight. Of course, you could go into any palette that has light shades or use a highlighter, but I figured I'd keep it Nomad related with this. So it has like a little pink shift to it. It's one of those white iridescent shades, and it's definitely gonna give me that brightness that I need. I'm using the E1 brush, by the way, from ItsBel Cosmetics. Such a little teeny precise pencil brush. All right, so now let's get into the blushes. So I'm gonna go into the Bare Cheeks palette, and I'm gonna start off with Love Me on one side and see what it looks like, and use just a touch on the other side, and then I can just mix them. I'm just curious in how they're gonna look on the cheeks. And I want to try to use more than like one shade in the palette. So let's start off with Love Me, which is like a nice cool tone mauve-y shade. Ooh, that's pretty. It's very pigmented. So let me diffuse this out. This goes really, really well with the eye look. That's pretty. Of course, I definitely need to blend a little bit more. I'm gonna get a different blush brush. I'm gonna go into Just a Touch. It's a very nude, like beige, and I'm not sure if it will really show up. Oh yeah, this is actually a really pretty nudie shade. This would also work with the look if I wanted something a little bit more subtle, a little bit more natural. So I'm gonna go over this side with Just a Touch. I'm gonna have to diffuse that, and then I'm gonna go over this side with the Love Me shade, the mauve, just so I can get them to match. So there are my cheeks. Such a pretty little blush combo. So I'm going to go off camera, do my liner, lashes, mascara, figure out something for the waterline, and then I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back, and here's the completed look. I kept it very simple. I didn't do a lot on the eyes because the multi-chromes are special enough. You don't really have to add a lot of details because they're gonna have like those cool shifts. But this is how it came out. But these multi-chromes are so pretty. They're so creamy and smooth. I don't know if the shifts are picking up on camera, but they're absolutely stunning. But all I did off camera was I went in with the Telescopic Lift L'Oreal mascara. I used a liner from Kaleidos, the one in Solaris. It's one of their like multi-chrome shifty liners. I have it right here on my hand. It goes from like red to gold to green. It looks so pretty in the waterline. They definitely pack a punch. And then I tight line with the Tristique pencil, and that's basically all I did off camera. Got the lip oil. I think my cheeks look really pretty. They match so well, like the two shades I picked from the Bare palette. Made a very gorgeous combo for this eye look. But that was everything for look number 1. I am now ready to get into look number 2. Okay, I'm back. I took off the first look, went back into the Kaleidos primer. So now let's jump into this shade right here called the Ballroom. I'm gonna start off with like the lighter matte and then go darker, even though this is a little bit on the darker side. Dust off the excess, and we're going to use this all through the crease. This is like a more purpley magenta. And I'm just gonna try to diffuse it as much as possible just to get it to be a little bit on the lighter side, so like sheer it out as much as possible. And now I'm going to go into Buckingham Palace, which I've been to before. I didn't get to go inside, but I got to look at it from outside. It's a beautiful palace. So I'm gonna use that as the deepening shade. And I'm not gonna take it too far through the crease. I'm just gonna concentrate it right on this outer corner. So I don't know if this is going to F the look up or not, but I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna go into the Refer 14 brush, and I'm gonna go onto the Palace of Versailles. I think that's how you say that name, but I don't know. I'm gonna use a little bit on the edge. This might be a bad idea, but I've decided to commit to this idea. I mean, it's just gonna make things look a little bit more cool toned and more blue. I just wanted to use more shadows in the palette. This one has a lot of pigment to it too. Just going over, I guess, lightly through the crease. So now I'm going to do the lower lash line, which is probably going to be weird because I want to use another shadow. So I'm gonna go into the Willanau Palace, and I'm going to use that on the lower lash line. Hopefully I didn't say that name wrong. I probably did, but I'm just gonna stamp that down here, and I'm just gonna concentrate that all on the lower lash line. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of Hall of Mirrors, this like deeper blue matte on the outer corner. pigmentation in all of these shadows is insane. And I'm not even like going very heavy into the pan. And I'm dusting off a lot of the excess, but dang, the pigmentation is really good on all of these mattes. So now let's get into the multi-chromes. I'm gonna start off with a shade called St. Edward's Crown. And this one is like a purple to, I think, magenta shift or something, maybe blue. But it is a nice, beautiful purple. And I'm gonna use it on the other corner. Oh, it's like an indigo. It's really vibrant, wow. And I'm just gonna keep it on the outer edge. Now I'm going to go into Imperial Crown, which looks kind of like a mustardy gold shade, but it looks like it might have like a gold. Maybe there's some red to it. I can't totally tell, but I'm gonna use that in the inner portion. Ooh, that is bright. It's definitely adding some contrast to the lids. I love this color combo. I mean, purple and gold just screams royalty. So now I'm gonna go into the last multi-chrome called Royal Orb, which this looks like maybe it's green to blue, maybe some gold to it. And I'm just gonna put that in the front inner portion down here. And I'm gonna spray this just to try to avoid having too much fallout down on my lower lash line. Oh, that has such a strong green shift to it. I just had to use the shade. This is my favorite kind of multi-chromes. The green shifty ones always get me. So I'm just gonna smooth that out down here. So I did wrap the Royal Orb shade up into the inner corner. It gives a little bit of brightness, but I just want a little bit of extra brightness. So I'm gonna go into the Whistler Snow Lodge palette, and I'm gonna go into a little bit of Skiing. This is a kind of champagne shade, and I feel like it will be able to brighten the inner corner up just a little bit more, because if I leave it alone, there's kind of like a cast to that shade because it's like, you know, a greeny shifty multi-chrome. So now let's get into some blush. I'm gonna go into the Juicy Cheek palette, and I think I'm just gonna use these like purpley tones in here. Of course, I'm gonna start off with one on one side, one on the other side, just so we can see how they look on their own. So I'm gonna start off with Sticky Sweet, this kind of vibrant purpley shade. Dust up the excess so I don't go too heavy, and put that there. These kind of tones, so in right now. Like every brand is making a shade like this in their blush range. That is pretty. Ooh, I just love blush. It makes me so happy. Now let me clean off this brush with the color switch. And now we're gonna go into Ripe, which I'm gonna go in as lightly as possible because it is on the deeper side and I don't wanna look like I have a bruised cheek. And just kind of diffuse it as much as possible. But so this is Ripe on this cheek. It definitely has more of a purple tone to it. This definitely has more of a pinky tone, but they look gorgeous. So I'm gonna mix it. I'm gonna go with the Sticky Sweet over the Ripe shade. And then I'm gonna go over the Sticky Sweet shade with the Ripe shade. And I'm just gonna get them to match, and I'm gonna diffuse them. I mean, I look like a clown right now, but let me blend things out. Promise I'm not blending them out. I don't wanna look too blushed up, so I'm just diffusing everything. So there's the blush. I was able to get it to diffuse a little bit. It's like a purpley pink cheek moment, and I love it. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the lip oil. This happened to match like both looks perfectly. I just love this color. And I do like the formula, like it's got my lips feeling hydrated this whole time. So I'm going to go and finish off the eye look, do liner, lashes, you know, mascara, all that good stuff. And then I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back, and here is the completed second look. What do you guys think of this one? I kept it simple as well, didn't add anything extra because these multi-chromes are so beautiful. Like this goldy one, the purple, the green down here, I'm just loving the formula. And I wanted to make this look a little bit more dramatic, so I did go in with some false lashes. I'm wearing the chocolate candy bar lashes from Glamlight. I love them because they're like more flared out on the corners, like the edge here, so it matches like my eye shape really well. And then for the rest of the look, I did go in with the Chucky liner from Glamlight. I used this in the first look as well, but I forgot to mention it. It is one of the best liquid liners I've ever used. It has like the smallest tip ever. Oh, it's so, so good. And then I did use a little bit of the Telescopic Lift Mascara from L'Oreal. And then for my waterline, I used another Kaleidos like multi-chrome liner. This one is in 7Cs, and I swatched it right here. This one has like a gold, blue to green shift. It matches the lower lash line perfectly. And that is all I did off camera to complete this look, besides use a little of the Trusty pencil to tightline. But I'm very happy with how this turned out. I love like the goldy shade in the front. It's really vibrant with the green down here with the dramatic lashes. They're super smoky, a little sultry, and the formula is gorgeous in this palette. So I think I am ready to now give you guys like my final first impressions on this palette and wrap up this video. So this was a very successful video. I like all the products that I tried. I'm gonna start off with the Blend Bunny Cosmetics products. These blush palettes are beautiful. The formula seems really nice, easy to build up, but easy to share out as well. And I love the color options in both of them. If you're into like bright, unique, colorful shades, you'll probably really love this one. Or if you're more of a nudie girl, then you'll probably love this one. I love that they did that, like split up the palettes, and I love all the shades in both of the palettes. Now, if you're not a blush palette kind of person, or you don't see yourself using all of the blushes in one of the palettes, then I wouldn't recommend you getting it, because you want to make sure you're going to get your money's worth and actually use the products in both of these. But if you like all the colors in either one or both of them, I highly recommend them. I think the formulas are really nice. Hopefully they'll eventually come out with singles, so people who just want certain shades can pick up the shade that they want. As for the lip oil, it seems really nice. It's very hydrating. It has a slight tack to it, but it's not one of those sticky like glosses where your lips are gonna stick together. I love the little tint that this Ripe shade gives. It's so pretty, it makes my lips look a little bit more mauve-y, and it just feels good and substantial, and it's not so thin where it's just gonna like fade away and wipe away really easily off the lips. Like, it's definitely there, and I've had this on for a while. I'm just loving lip oils these days. And as for the Nomad Cosmetics palette, gorgeous, stunning, beautiful, very jewel tone, deeper palette. I love the theme. The color options are beautiful. Now, of course, this leans dark. There's not any shades that can really be inner corner highlights, so you'll have to pull in maybe a highlighter or palettes with lighter shades. If you don't mind that, then you're gonna love this palette. And I think their multi-chrome shades are excellent, super creamy and foiled. If you like multi-chromes, then you're going to love this. Now, if you have a huge multi-chrome collection, I'm sure you could find shades that are very similar to these. These are like the standard multi-chromes that you can find across all brands that offer multi-chromes, but I think they did a really good job. And if you're wanting to try multi-chromes, I think this is a good way to bring it into your collection, because this palette is $57. I think that's pretty affordable to have a palette with 5 multi-chromes, because multi-chromes are expensive, and like if you buy them as singles, they can range from like $15 to $20. So to get 5 of them in this palette with these beautiful complementary mattes is such a good deal. So I think this is really good, and I do feel like the matte formula is very pigmented. Like, they have made their mattes so much more pigmented now, and I love that. That's what I prefer. That used to be my gripe with a lot of their other palettes. They were just a little bit more sheer and needed building, but the formula is excellent on this, and I just love the tones, the packaging, beautiful. But that was my thoughts on all the products that I got to try and the 2 eye looks that I was able to come up with. I had so much fun filming this video, and I do hope you guys found this enjoyable and helpful to watch. But you guys will have to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you pick up any of these products? Are you planning to try them out? Also, if you're new here and you enjoy this video and you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot on any makeup, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the products linked that I tried out today, as well as the rest of my makeup that I'm wearing on my face, in case you're curious. I will also have other videos of mine that you might be interested in watching, like other Nomad reviews, and I will have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, supporting me, being amazing. I just appreciate you guys all so very much. And I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world. And I'm just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.